Last week while I was in Austin for Tesla's GigaFest, I had the privilege of speaking with Lance King, who is one of the co-founders and CEO of Cyberlander, which is creating a camper, a mini home that sits right on the back of the Cybertruck. I had spoken to the folks at Cyberlander about a year ago, and I'll put a link to that up in the corner if you want to check out that video as well. But at the time, of course, it was mostly just CG renders and ideas. Now, a year later, I had a chance to look at their fourth engineering prototype, and specifically the kitchen, which is what we're going to focus on today. A lot of the other stuff is embargoed just because it's, still in prototype shape and everything. But it was really amazing to see how far they'd come and the fact that it looks like they really will be ready. Their target is to be ready right around the time the Cybertruck releases in early 2023. And as far as I could tell, it looks like they're very much on track to do that. Anyway, today I want to focus mostly on the kitchen because they were really focusing on that and they just released it. And I want to talk just a little bit about the material they're using for the housing of the Cyberlander, the external shell. They wouldn't tell me exactly what it was. It's a cool composite, but I got to channel my fronds and smash on it with a sledgehammer. So you'll see some of that in the video as well. Anyway, a huge thanks to Lance and to all the folks at Cyberlander that I got to meet, the engineers, etc. I love their research lab. It was also cool to hear that they've been working with Sandy Monroe about creating a full-fledged factory layout. I mean, down to where the nuts and bolts are going to be put in and how much time it takes and all of that kind of stuff. Anyway, obviously can't reveal that kind of stuff at this point, but it's really cool to see how much progress they've made. And I, for one, am super excited about the possibility of seriously camping with the Cyberlander on the back of the Cybertruck. As a small note, the folks at Cyberlander sent me some B-roll that they've produced. So when you see perhaps some intercuts and things like that that look much more professionally shot than what mine was, because it was just a last minute thing. And by the way, thank you to Misinformation, my wife Lane, for being the camera person that day. It was just like, oh, let's do this thing. So anyway, but when you see the more professional looking stuff, that's some B-roll that they've actually shot and they were kind enough to share with me. So I'll intercut a little bit of that stuff. And of course, I'll put the link to Cyberlander in the description in case you're interested in this. I also want to note here that I have no relationship with Cyberlander outside of having done an interview before, and I put down a deposit for a camper myself just as a customer. But other than that, I have no relationship with them. I just wanted to do this interview. I thought it was a really cool product. I thought what a great opportunity while being in Austin to be able to shoot this as well. So anyway, I just wanted to clarify that. And now without further ado, let's take a look at the factory walkthrough and the kitchen. And for those of you interested in investing, check out Webull, an amazing platform for buying and selling stocks, and now cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, Dogecoin, and others. Open an account and get a free stock valued at up to $200, and fund your account and get another free stock valued at up to $1,600. Check out the link in the description and help the channel at the same time. Hey y'all, it's Dr. Know-It-All. I'm with Lance King, who is the CEO, right, of StreamIt, but more importantly, Cyberlander. So we are going to talk today. It's, I think, a bit of an exclusive, right?
It is.
It is.
Yeah.
So we're going to get to look at an engineering prototype of the Cyberlander camper that fits on the back of the Cybertruck. And of course, I'm sure everybody knows that the Cybertruck is coming out. You said, we were just talking right before we started filming, like January, they're going to try to hit the ground running, January of 23. So yeah, so let's chat. So yeah, so I guess you can continue talking about what you did. Obviously my voice is wrecked from being here, so I'll let you talk as much as possible.
So I was saying, we worked with Sandy Monroe and his team.
Right.
And they helped lay out our factory, which of course we have not built yet. But you have to know what you're going to do before you do it. And so they mapped out the stations, and to a level of detail that I can't even imagine. They calculate 1.5 seconds for the worker to pick up the washer and slide it on.
Oh my gosh.
And they go to that level of detail. And so
no wonder people use them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean.
We've worked with them on an initial costing analysis and things are moving forward really great. And so we'll give you some glimpses of that today.
Right. Yes, we're not going to see everything today, and it's an engineering prototype. So, but that means a lot of it's functional, right? So, yeah.
So, I mean, each prototype is designed to test at least 1 or 2 new things, right? And so you go through quite a few before you got everything working and you're ready for production. So today, what we'll really focus on is the kitchen.
Awesome. That is great. We get to see the chair first?
You can see the chair.
Bed.
This is one of the early prototypes.
Right.
So we have moved on from that now. Yeah, go ahead.
Cool.
Give it a try. And
I watched him set it up just a minute ago, and it was very cool. It's very easy.
That will not be it, but that was one of the things we learned along the way. And,
yeah, so when we talked, and I'll put a link to this, we talked, oh gosh, was it a year ago now? Almost.
Not quite, but yeah.
Yeah, almost, I think May or June or something like that. So yeah, it was definitely, but of course they were all CG renders at the time, so yeah.
Yeah, so you'll see some of that CGI come to life today.
Awesome. That is really cool to see that. All right,
okay,
let's go.
Should we go out on a little tour?
How much room do you actually need, like, to make a bunch of these? Like, you know, because we've got, I don't know how many square feet right now, but.
So Monroe & Associates want us to have 150,000 square feet.
Wow, and this is just for reference?
This is just 5,000 square feet.
5,000, yeah.
So yeah. Many times this size.
Yeah.
And,
wow. I mean,
so
you start thinking about like,
yeah. So
that's crazy.
This is our field test truck. You know, we can't get a Cybertruck today.
Right.
And of course, the Cybertruck does not have fender wells. So we can't test Cyberlander in a normal truck. We have to have a flatbed.
Oh, interesting, right. Wow. So how do you like mock up the sides because there's those angled sides that come down? Or?
We don't worry about that because we know where they go, right?
Okay, right, yeah.
So it just fits on the flatbed.
Oh, so it doesn't really extend over that part.
No,
it just okay.
No, it sits right on top of there with some room to spare.
Cool.
And, so that's already had 3,000 miles on it. This prototype here has made it all the way up to Michigan and back to visit Monroe & Associates.
Wow.
So it's had some
It's a well-traveled prototype.
It's a well-traveled prototype.
That's pretty cool.
It enjoyed all the bumps of Michigan and the rain and the wind. We wore out 2 tarps. The wind just shredded. One on the way up and another one on the way back. So,
jeez. And so I'm assuming that, does this one extend in like?
It does.
Oh, it does. Okay, so you had it in the down position and it still was, yeah.
In fact, let me grab some water too, and we'll actually boil some water.
Oh, that's cool.
Do you have a gas range at home? Or?
We have actually an induction stove.
Oh, do you? So you know how fast induction is.
Yeah. Oh, so this is induction. Yeah.
This one's induction.
All right.
Let me grab some water.
Cool.
You ready to be the first outsider?
Yes,
Cyberlander?
absolutely.
Step right in. So you'll notice it's low, right?
Right.
Which is where it is when it travels, so that everything collapses down and it fits.
Okay.
So this actually raises up, and our plan is to have at least 2 positions, so maybe a standard height and a taller height, because so people don't want to bend over as far, that kind of thing. And the sink doubles as a workstation, so it's
I love that cutting board. Yeah, that's awesome.
I don't know if we'll stick with bamboo or if we'll go with HDPE.
Right. So what is this?
This is porcelain.
It actually really
This is real porcelain. So you got a marble look.
That is really
so
high end.
Yeah, you get the beauty of marble, right?
Right.
But with the durability of porcelain. So. You know, normally when you've got a camper, you've got a little tiny shallow sink.
Right.
And then you've got about 3 inches right here or less.
Right.
And then you've got your gas range. There's no room to make a sandwich.
Exactly.
And that frustrated me and a lot of other campers, so we said, you know what? We're going to do it differently. We're going to open the whole thing up, put the induction cooktop underneath so it takes up no space. So
that is so brilliant.
Massive work area.
Right. And so underneath here is actually the cooktop.
So if you look carefully, you'll see little etches there.
Yeah. I don't know if you can like zoom in and see that. Like there's like a little etch. So that's what shows you where the center of the cooktop is.
Yeah, that little ring. We've got like 12 kilowatt hours of lithium ion battery with 6,000 watts, 9,000 peak.
Right.
So we can operate all of this as though we've got a Cybertruck, even though we don't.
Right.
And this runs on 220. So the first thing most people say when they come in here is, wow, it's bigger than I imagined.
It really actually is.
You actually have some real space in here, and with the windows at both levels, whether you're seated or standing, you've got a great view.
Here too.
And in most campers, you've got a cabinet right in your face. And we would look out the windows to crouch down, right? And so we think this improves that a lot.
And again, I think you said that the glass eventually is going to
It'll electrochromic.
I was trying to remember the name for it, but it'll become opaque.
Once they'd shown us about a dozen different materials, we said, okay, which one do you think is going to be best for this? And they said, the one you guys chose.
Oh, well, good for you.
So
yeah,
we were pleased with that, and there are a couple of reasons for that. This one is easy to make last-minute changes to, and most of the others aren't.
Gotcha.
And But it's an amazing material. I think you'll be impressed when you get to test it.
What is it?
It's an advanced composite. That's all we share.
Wow. Okay. Well, there we go. Okay. But I mean, you didn't design it yourself, right? You selected it, right?
It's been in production for many years. It's been very tested outdoors in
That's actually good. I didn't think,
conditions.
the sun and the rain and all that stuff getting on it all the time. So, yeah.
And it is FDA approved for contact with food.
Oh.
So
that's actually, I guess considering that how close everything is to everything else, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's probably not necessary, but it's nice to know,
right? Yeah, exactly.
And, so, you know, talking back about the kitchen and how useless most of them are, which is why food when you're camping usually isn't very good. We wanted to change that and make the sink a workstation. And so you have a tri-level sink with a colander. It can be at one level, a wash bin it can be at another, and drying racks it can be at yet another.
Oh my gosh!
And so
that is so cool.
We transfer a crappy sink into a good sink,
and then it all just like folds down and it's gone.
And it all goes away, and you're ready to travel. So.
And if I remember, like a lot of the dishes and things like that are sort of like in that.
We'll go down in here. So, you know, where this can come in handy is one of the biggest uses of water for camping is washing dishes. So with this wash bin, you just fill that up with little soap, use it for the whole day, right? And it's out of the way. You've still got all the rest of the area to work with. And, you know, once you're ready, you just stick them on the drying rack. And,
wow.
So we think people will really enjoy having a sink like that in a camper, which, to our knowledge, nobody's ever done a sink that large or elaborate before.
Yeah, absolutely. And also just, well, the fact that it's so multi-purpose. And I mean, I'm a big fan of cutting up stuff. So like the cutting board itself is just awesome. Yeah, I mean, that's like a significant piece of...
it really is. Like I say, I don't know if we'll stick with bamboo or if we'll go with HDPE. But if we did an HDPE, we would make it so it fills the whole space or folds over to either side.
Oh, so and that would be a big advantage because you could have that and still have access to the sink while you're cutting. So,
and because HDPE is thinner, we can probably keep it flush with the countertop more easily than with this one. So these cabinets are actually HDPE.
Okay.
And so expensive outdoor cabinets for kitchens, outdoor kitchens, are made of the same thing. And they sit outside for 10, 20 years. They don't fade, they don't chip, they don't rot, they don't corrode, they never delaminate, they never peel, they don't need finishing. And so we said, that's what we want in this. Something that's just going to hold up instead of the first time something spills in the drawer, the thing warps and molds, and you start over.
That is true, especially a lot of outdoor stuff that you don't access for a long time. You get mold and all that garbage.
Yeah, they can turn really bad really fast. And we didn't want to have to deal with that. So let's see if we've got, no, we don't have one yet. So the drawers, it's down, so it's kind of under a strain now, right? But the drawers are a soft close. They're soft touch open and soft close.
Cool. And the little fridge right there just tucked in.
Yeah, and the idea for that was with no handles, you're not going to catch anything. It's never going to go out of date, look old-fashioned or whatnot.
That's true.
And it's not going to rub things when you're traveling or cause problems. And since it's HDPE, it's difficult to scratch, it's kind of self-healing and all that. So
I guess the idea was just to make this thing pretty indestructible.
Yeah.
And so it's the highest quality you can get, and it's going to last as long as the Cybertruck does, which is probably a long time.
That's we wanted to match that kind of the technology, the Cybertruck, and the durability, right?
Right.
And that's not easy, but let's put a little water in there. You've got an induction cooktop, so you're probably familiar with it.
But it's pretty cool how it...
But this one...
so it had like an auto off. It looked like it maybe if it could...
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, okay.
Auto
that's actually
off,
good.
And we're gonna go.
I'm used to that with the induction stove. It makes that kind of whining sound as it goes. So...
And, so within 2 minutes, we'll have boiling water.
Wow.
And most induction cooktops and campers are 110 volt, and they're much lower wattage, right?
Right.
So they're still going to take quite a while to heat up.
Right.
But this one, you can see it's already starting to bubble.
Yeah.
And
that's crazy.
We'll have a good rolling boil in under 2 minutes.
Wow.
So
that's as good as those, the jet boils or something when you go camping and you get those little gas. I mean, that's like, this is really fast. That actually will make cooking so much better for, because a lot of times when you're camping and you've got a small amount of space and you don't want to like wait 30 minutes for the stupid pasta water to boil, or come on. So
so you don't end up eating very well, right?
Right, exactly.
And, we'd like to change that.
That is cool, man. And look at that thing. Yeah.
That means when you finish, it's actually going to get cold to the surface quicker.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh
Like
yeah,
that-
that's
like
another
that
thing. I don't know if
induction.
people who don't have induction, because the surface doesn't get hot. It gets hot where it contacts the pot, but it doesn't become like a burner where it's actually hot. So.
And on this one, you'll find it doesn't even get really hot there, right? So
Yeah.
we'll bring this to a boil. And
Wow. So how, like, is the induction surface just literally like right under the surface of that, and you just like?
yeah, there's about a ½ an inch here,
Okay.
and then it's right beneath that.
Oh, so it's actually separated by a little bit.
yeah, you got the porcelain, and then a special material beneath that,
Right.
and then the induction cooktop.
That is
So-
really cool.
Here we've got boiling water, and
Look at, okay, that's impressive. Yeah, we just bought a house with an induction stove like about, I guess, 7 or 8 months ago now. But when we got there, we had no idea. So, because we were used to electric
Right.
and gas, and we had to actually buy a few new pieces of cookware because you have to have the stainless steel or something.
you
with
got to
iron in
have
it, so-
something magnetic, right?
Yeah, but anyway, I mean, man, once we got that, it's like you put that. It's a very impressive thing, and also safe. I would imagine with kids, a lot less dangerous because they don't have hot things they can put their hands on afterwards. So.
Yeah, and most house fires start by like a towel on the counter
Right,
hitting the
right.
gas flame, right?
Right.
And of course, you'll never have that here. But again, it stays cool.
Really,
So-
I've never had the guts to try that at home.
Go ahead.
To try that now.
Give it a
Oh,
try.
here we go.
And-
You'll have to hold.
and-
I'm going to be
yeah,
Franz here in a
doors
minute, but okay. Wow, I feel scared. It's actually terrifying. Wow, it's not even warm, really. That is really crazy. That is really cool. So, yeah, I mean, just the safety factor with like
Yeah.
the fact that you don't have hot surfaces, and it's such a
So one of the keys to that, because will get conduction back into the countertop, right? But we've got little spacers,
wow.
and those little spacers are enough to keep it from conducting back
right.
in.
So that's what I was going to say, because that's like I think what happens is the pot itself gets hot.
Right.
And then that transfers to the surface. So you got
Right.
that little.
So you have
Man, I need to
conduction
do
back
that with
in.
our stuff at home.
Yeah, and the good thing about that is it concentrates all that heat into your food, right?
Right.
Which is why it boils so much faster.
Right.
You're not losing anything to the counter.
Yeah.
So, and then one
And
of the
also
other
you're
nice
being
things-
efficient in terms of battery, because
Right.
you're out on the road.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and you're not heating the cabin when you're trying to air condition.
that's
it,
true
things like
too.
that.
Yeah.
And one of the other nice things about induction, which you have found, is if you shut it off, or turn it down,
Right.
it'll come off the boil really, really fast.
Yeah,
Where with gas or regular cooktops, you turn it down, it doesn't matter. It's still going to boil
Yeah.
over for a while.
Yeah. You got
So
that
it responds
coasting
very
it's doing.
quickly. Yeah.
That is really,
So,
really
and
amazing.
If you turn it back on, you get right back to a boil too.
That would be really cool to hear that sound too. Wow, that's very impressive.
That's one of those cool sounds, kind of like the park brake on a Tesla.
Exactly. Exactly.
Everyone
Exactly.
loves that noise.
Exactly.
So,
Wow. All
and the
right.
nice thing, you could, in fact, if you want, we'll do both of them so you can see and operate both of them turbo mode.
Yeah, exactly. So does it have that like power boost mode or whatever? Where
It does, and we can power boost both of them.
Right.
So it's not an inexpensive induction cooktop. It is a high-end European induction cooktop
yeah,
in a camper.
that is
With the porcelain
that
countertop.
is really cool. On the inside the countertop, where you can't see it, and it's safe. And yeah,
Yeah, we wanted them to be able to make some hot cocoa or something, and then immediately put the bed out, right?
Right.
And you can do that.
yeah, and you don't have to spend
cool.
20 minutes waiting for it to cool down, and
To be
and you can be
safe, so-
washing whatever dishes you have in the meantime while you're working on that. So cool.
I
So
mean, look at how fast that is
that is
boiling on
amazing.
that
And that's a-
one
you
we
know,
just
that's a larger
barely started. It's a
fry
larger
pan, so
one,
yeah. So you have, I guess, obviously these two, and then like a pasta pot or something like that, or
We'll have some things available on our website.
Right.
Chances are we will not be able to bundle them because of inflation. We
Yeah,
originally
right.
hoped
Jeez.
to bundle some of those things.
Okay.
But we're fighting inflation, and the Rivian experience tells everybody, don't raise your prices.
Yeah.
And
So it's better to keep the prices stationary, but like,
it means we can't bundle some of the things we were hoping to.
Right.
to
But they'll be
surprise
available.
people.
So
They'll
you
be
can-
available.
okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So, and if this were, even a couple of weeks from now, we could show you the whole thing going through its full range.
Wow.
But we had to custom engineer all of that.
Right.
We see people on social media say, well, you can buy that stuff at Home Depot kind of thing. It's like, no, you cannot.
No, yeah. Exactly.
And we worked with some of the biggest names and best companies, even very small companies that
Right.
specialize in things like that around the world. And there were no ideal situations. And so we ended up having to work with
Wow.
another company to custom make a system.
Wow.
And we've got patents pending on that.
Oh, wow. Well, that's
talk
great.
More
Okay.
about that in the future.
Yeah.
But they take up very little space. So as we promised in the original renders, it's a little telescopic pole in the corner.
Right.
And
Yeah, and all the magic is what happens inside.
all the magic is what happens elsewhere.
Oh, wow. That's, I mean, actually,
It's ridiculous.
that's
you know?
incredibly light given what,
Yeah.
and structurally
It's like,
so rigid.
It's like balsa wood, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's
It's-
crazy.
It's insane. And then try and bend it,
Yeah.
Hold that for you.
Let's go the long way so I have some. Like,
Put your knee into it, yeah. I mean, it's ridiculous stuff.
wow.
And
That is absolutely nutty.
It really is. And
Because it doesn't feel like it's really anything, but it's
Right.
so rigid. Now you've made me happy. I get to wail on stuff with a hammer.
you get to well on stuff with a hammer, and you get to stand on it.
Oh, I get to stand on it too. All right, there we go. All right.
Pull this out to the edge because
Oh, we're got to go maximum.
we want to go to the max. I know.
Okay. Are we okay with this?
So what we
That's
use is actually stronger than that, but
good. Oh, okay. Wow. Oh, what you use is actually stronger than this one.
yeah.
Wow. All right, Franz, eat your heart out, buddy. Can I really wail?
Yeah.
Ooh, that's loud. Wow. Not only is it not breaking, but there's like no dents or anything. That's crazy.
Now, go,
Yeah.
go ahead and stand on it.
Yeah, I'll look. Cool. Oh, one more or stand on it. I'll stand on it. We'll see. There you go.
And like we say, that's not as strong as what we use.
So now it can't vibrate.
Right. That feels really weird. Like my feet are like, that is incredible.
But I mean, it takes this is
Wow.
thinner skin then.
Right. So you guys have, and it looks like you have some sort of textured stuff on it or something like that, maybe like that.
That's the natural texture of the material.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Wow. Man, that's crazy.
And it will.
I mean, considering like here, you got to feel this for a second. I know you're filming. Thank you, by the way. This information is don't like. It's really, really light considering. Yeah, it's like it weighs very, very little. That is cool stuff.
amazing
I can't believe it
material.
doesn't dent when you hit it like that.
If you look at it very closely, it puts little tiny
Right.
dents in it, but it's.
But I mean, I
amazing.
pretty wailed on it.
Yeah, it's-
So.
People want to know that it's bear safe, right?
Right. Yeah. No bear. I don't think a bear's getting through that.
Not
So-
very likely.
So eventually you'll just be able to say like turn on or something like
Give
that.
me 8 ounces of 100-degree water.
No.
So the hot water.
What?
We finally have hot water too.
Yay!
Oh wow. Awesome. Wait. So you can literally say I want 8 ounces at 100 degrees.
Yeah, and that's not us. That's actually Moen. You can go buy that today.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So
Well, apparently we need to get a new sink.
So yeah, we wanted something that didn't feel like a compromise, like all
Right.
the ones.
First time.
And no, that's the actual pump.
Right.
That's
Oh,
real
oh.
hot water. That's
That is very cool. And are you doing like just-in-time heating?
Yeah.
So it's okay. Yeah. That's actually really nice too. So you don't have to have a water heater or anything like that. So yeah.
there's the touchless. So
That's so nice if you're like
You got
got
your
your
chicken
hands. Yeah.
hands
You
and-
know exactly.
yeah.
So you can get in there and.
you want a little. Yeah. So this is the shower head,
Okay.
and so have you had a shower like that in a camper before? Most of them dribble.
No, I've done that. It's kind of it sort of works usually, but that's actually like a real shower
You've got
head
5 different
Wow.
flow patterns that you can go through.
and a lot of pressure.
Good pressure.
Yeah.
And you're going to get wet in the shower.
Yeah,
and because
absolutely.
it recirculates, you don't have to worry about running out of water instantly.
Right. Okay.
So,
Okay. That's really impressive. So running off of 2 pumps or?
Currently 3, but
Okay.
we'll be limiting it down to 10.
Yeah.
so
I
that's
gotcha.
how we shut this one off? Oh, you got separate valve.
You can run them with less pumps, but you have to have everything sealed, right? So like you can run, you don't necessarily need this hot water pump here.
Right.
But if this tank would have to be sealed.
Pressurized.
So
Yeah.
once
It's not
Oh,
a
right,
pressurized
right,
system.
yeah.
So once
Yeah.
you put enough, cold water into it, that the air equalizes with the pressure of the water.
Right.
It goes out of that line.
Yeah,
But
yeah, I got you.
It's got to be, everything's got to be nice and sealed. So.
Gotcha.
So you've got multiple spray patterns. We chose this one, nice modern design.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah. And it's got a little height
yeah,
too, so you're
yeah.
not like.
Yeah, if you have a coffee pot you like to use and it's,
Right.
let's say it's something odd like 9 ounces.
Right.
You'll be able to say fill coffee pot and it will put the 9 ounces in.
Okay.
So you can do it manually or touch at the same time. So they've done a nice job with it.
Wow.
And there's that sink in action.
Right, yeah, so this is the
Sink you
same
have to actually
sink that
use.
was in there,
It
and
is.
so I can see all the levels. So yeah.
Yeah.
And this is just huge, and this is
It is huge, yeah.
And of course, very easy to block it if you need to fill it up for some
Yeah.
reason. So
Yep. Drop
Yep.
that in there. And this sink is designed to drain easily. You've probably seen a lot of sinks that you put the water in and it just sits there. And
Yeah,
it won't take
yeah.
the stuff down the drain. And so
Right.
this one is designed to really get it down the
Okay.
drain without wasting a lot of water.
right, right. So the whole thing is slightly canted in, and then it.
Yeah,
dips
you got
in,
the
yeah, I
slight
can see
slope
where
here,
you
and then
get,
as you
like-
get closer, it goes really deep.
Right. That
And,
is really amazing.
Yeah, don't be surprised if this becomes your favorite kitchen to cook in. And,
I could actually see that because also, like, you just everything would be right there, and you're just like, yeah. I mean,
And this shower head connects
like
by magnet.
magnetic,
so,
yeah.
You know, when you get
So it
soap in
just
your
stays
eyes,
out of the
get
way.
close,
Right.
and you'll be good. And
oh, cool.
I don't think you got a chance to look in the fridge, but check it out. It's
Okay.
much. In fact, I'll get the light turned back
This
on.
is
in there.
really
It's
astounding
much-
when I look at like how much you guys have
Hard
fit
to
into a bed of a truck.
Yeah,
It's like,
it's
wow.
no cubic centimeter goes unused.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And, one of the things it had to do to pass my test was it
Right.
had to be big enough to hold the great big 1 pound spring lettuce box that you get, right? So
Right.
you got a week's worth of lettuce, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And that slides right in underneath there. So it's
Oh, it's like
actually,
under it, so,
Yeah, it's
wow.
actually amazing how much you can fit in there. And you do have the small freezer in there. And
Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'll let you get down, like zoom in, but
Get you
that is
some light in
great.
there.
Man, that is really compact. But I mean, like compact but useful space because it goes like super deep.
yeah, and that's why we chose this fridge. It's
Right.
larger than most fridges that are that size.
Right.
And, it is a compressor fridge, so it,
Yeah.
even on a hot day, it'll keep it nice and cool.
Okay. Okay.
So
And then are you doing like exhausting heat like carefully like to the outside and things like that, or is it?
so
I guess since it's a compressor, it really doesn't have to.
yes and no.
Yeah,
So
okay.
the current plan, one of the biggest heat producers is the edge computer, the one that does the AI.
Really?
Continuously. You've got
Oh,
surveillance
yeah,
cameras.
yeah, yeah, of
everything,
course, of
Just like
course.
in your Tesla. Right?
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
one
yeah.
of the big heat producers.
It does. Yeah. It's,
And
yeah.
as of now, our plan is that that will be water cooled,
Oh.
but it will be hot water cooled. And people go, wait, how do you cool with hot water?
Yeah, I was like, wait a second.
And it's like, well, the water that you wash your hands with and stuff is usually about 120 degrees.
Right.
Those processes are getting up closer to 170.
Right, so
And
it's
you
still
wanna keep
cold to them.
It's cold
Yeah.
to them. And now you're not heating your cold water, you're getting free hot water.
So you're going to be,
So-
so you're going to be running some of that by and
Yeah.
getting, see, that's,
So,
it's all about efficiency.
right. And since that's running, that's one of the ways we'll keep the water warm in the wintertime.
Right.
Is by cycling through there.
Wow.
And we'll add additional heat if we need to
Right.
keep it from freezing. But that's the basics. And
I just want to make a note here. There's 3 of us adults in this space, and it feels, we could easily have a 4th.
have you ever had that kind of headroom
Yeah, I
in
mean,
a
this is
camper
crazy.
before?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
this is absolutely nuts.
Again, this
So-
is just hacked together for now because it's a prototype. That's what you do, right?
Yeah.
But I think you'll like the final version real well.
Well, and the volume is, you know, so
it's surprising.
Like, it's really, really impressive
so
how big this is.
Got in it, said, "Wow, it's much bigger than I imagined."
Exactly.
And so it really is a usable space. And it's funny because I've had people say, "Yeah, I put tape in my house," and I thought, "You just can't do that." It's
right.
like,
I know.
Wait
I
till you
actually
experience it.
That's the thing that blows my mind is the fact that you're able to fit, because we haven't even, like, you know, there's bed and chair and all of that stuff too, and it's just like all of this, and a toilet and a shower, and you know, it's like holy mackerel.
Yeah, and those chairs, you know, convert to bed, and the counter's at this height for the bed.
Right.
So it's not much different than a lot of beds. And of course, you'll have access through the little hallway here to the bathroom. So that's kind of a tiny bathroom.
Right.
But every bathroom on every trailer, camper, motorhome is tiny.
Right.
So that shouldn't come as a shock.
Yeah.
The toilet will be removable, so if you want it out while you shower, you can move it.
Right.
Put it back.
And it's composting, I guess?
No, it is a dry flush toilet,
Oh.
which basically means it tags and bags it. So it's a long bag that each time you flush it, pulls it down, twists it, seals it off, and you go again. And so we've been testing this for about 9 months now.
Right.
We've got one that's got stuff in it for 9 months now.
Really?
No,
And it's just
no odors.
really.
Yeah. And,
Wow.
And
then when you get, like, I guess you take it
solids
to
and liquids in it.
Wow.
When it's done, you put it, so that big long bag
Right.
sits in another bag. So
Okay.
you lift up the toilet seat, you pull the outer bag, cinch it off just like you would any other garbage liner, and toss it in any trash can.
Wow.
Just like you would a diaper.
Wow.
The diaper genie.
It is. It's like a grown-up diaper genie.
It's a great, you got it. And
That's actually really cool.
it really is, because all the other toilets are a pain. You know, a lot of them
and the
have
gray
gone to
water and the black water and the
gray
blah,
water,
blah,
black
blah.
water, or the cassette, and they say, yeah, the cassette's great because you don't. Yeah, you go empty one of those and tell me it's great.
Right.
You add the chemicals to it, you add the water to it, and everything else. They're not great.
And all of this AI control, like sink, the glass, that's really cool. I don't know if you knew that, but that's like all of the stuff. You'll just be able to talk to the Cyberlander.
Final thoughts. You know, you can see we're making great progress.
I know. Yeah.
There are lots of amazing things that have to be invented to pull this off.
Right.
And you've seen the progress.
Right, and it's amazing. I mean, and then, you know, it's going to be finishing the prototype and then manufacturing.
Manufacturing.
Yeah, there you go. And you've got a ton of reservations already, right?
Over 2,500.
Wow, that's great.
So that's over 125 million in pre-orders now. And of course, we're working with Monroe & Associates on the manufacturing to make sure we get it right the first time.
Yeah, I think they'll probably help you out. That's probably going to be great. All right. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And, you know, again, Cyberlander, I'll obviously put the link in the description. You should definitely check it out on the website, and then soon for real. That'll be awesome. All right, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
You too.
All right.